Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. What is going on? So I thought I'd do a video on sorting out this catastrophe of a room. So this is basically my bedroom. I've just got like a mini walkway that comes into my bedroom because this is the bathroom that opens up to my room. So here I just have some built-in wardrobes which just look like this inside. So I've just got like a little shelf up here that goes all the way along, and then there's just a rail that goes all the way along as well. And then in here, a crappy little light, I've just got some shelving. Other than that, I also have the breeze blocks showing in this wall and that wall, which is absolutely great. That just means that it wasn't plastered properly when the house was first made. I don't know if you can tell, but a blue wall here, and then this is a pink wall. Don't know why I went for that, but I did. So I actually was a painter and decorator for about 1.5 years. I used to work with my auntie and I used to go on jobs with her and stuff. Very fun, very cool. Gained a lot of experience and all that great stuff. The only thing I have in my head so far is that I want the walls white. We're gonna figure it out and hopefully will be okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. Bonjournoooo guys. So I'm just gonna start with this side of my bedroom. I've just got my beauty table and I've got this massive box, and basically I want to organise everything into this box so that when I take everything out it can go back how it was, if that makes sense. So yes, I'm just going to be doing this. It's a lot of fun. So yes, I always advise having separate boxes for different things in your bedroom, just so you don't get disorganised and overwhelmed when you come to bring it all back and try and figure out where everything goes. When I wake up, what do there? Is this even real? Bit of a boring thing to say, but whenever I clean out my room or clear out my room, I always have 2 bin bags. I've got a bin bag, I have loads of bin bags actually. One for the bin, one for recycling, one for the charity shop, one for the clothes bin, and one that I'm going to sell stuff or give it to somebody. Now moving on to the other side of the bedroom. So I've got, as you can see, a lot of space under my bed. So I just want to go through everything that's under there because there's so many boxes. I don't know why I seem to hoard boxes and it's really quite weird. So I'm just going to go through loads of different things that I just don't want to bring back into my bedroom. I've got 2 like storage boxes under there that I need to go through, which is just full of like memorabilia stuff, but oh my god, it just takes up so much room. Like, what is this box? What is in that box? I don't even understand. But yeah, enjoy! Again, another random thing. If you're cleaning out your room and you've got loads of old makeup, I suggest, like, you know, say for instance stuff like this, you've just got loads of mascaras, and take them into Superdrug, and Maybelline does it, where you can recycle all your old makeup, which is great because otherwise it's non-recyclable and it just goes to landfill. So I just keep a bag like under my bed or something and I just fill it up with mine, my mum's, my sister's stuff. That literally took me a day to get rid of all the stuff under my bed. I'm not joking. I had to go through so much junk, but thank goodness it's been moved. Now the right side of my room is done and the underneath of my bed, it's time for the fun part. Not really. So I have removed all of the furniture except my bed because it's just absolutely massive and I'd have to dismantle it to get it out of here, but I feel like I can work around it. So this is what the room is currently looking like. So just to tell you what I've done today is I've just hoovered everywhere, hoovered it all along the skirting boards just to get rid of some dust and stuff like that. And then I have used this is just some sandpaper. Hold on, let me show you. So this is called P60 sandpaper, which is quite abrasive. So kind of, it depends really on how bad your skirting actually is, or any of the wood, depending on what sandpaper you'd get. So if your skirting boards aren't too bad, so say for instance, let me just show you here. So this particular skirting all around here is quite smooth. There's not really much texture on it. There's no bumps or anything. So I would most likely use a P20 on that one just because it's a little bit less abrasive. However, on my skirting boards, as you can see, they are a little bit battered. You can see like loads of different texture, which is just where paint has run and then dried and just stayed like that. And I've just gone around the whole bedroom And I've also done my windowsill. Essentially, depending on how bad it is, you're just going to go over it like this. If you need to scrub a bit harder, then do so, but just be a bit careful because you don't want to bring out the old wood underneath, because then when you paint over it, it's going to be a little bit lumpy. I've also done my radiator. Again, there's a lot of different drips, as you can see here. That would have just been from like the previous time it was painted. So next time when we try and paint it, we're going to try and avoid that happening. But other than that, I'm now going to get on with some actual painting. So I'm just painting my room completely white, and I've just bought this Crown Pure Brilliant white paint, nothing too special, and I just have a little kettle here. A kettle is literally just a bucket, which means that when I'm like going around the room, it's just a little bit easier to like hold it, so I don't have to keep going back to the big one. What I'm going to do is pour about halfway some paint into here, and then just add a little bit of water and mix it. Basically what people do, which is probably a bit of a mistake in my opinion, well not really, it's just most decorators will do this, is painting straight out of the tub. One, your paint won't last as long, and two, you'll end up getting loads of streaks in your when you look at the walls, if that makes sense, because the paint is a lot thicker, so it won't spread as evenly. Whereas if you add a little bit of water, it stops that from happening and it just spreads a lot nicer, and you kind of get a little bit more length out of it. So when you're painting one area, it will spread further than it would if you didn't add water. So if I'm going to be putting this much paint, I'm going to be literally putting this much water. So it's not much. So all you're going to do, add a little bit of water and give it a stir. Don't stir it too vigorously, otherwise it's just going to splash absolutely everywhere. Okay, so also I would obviously recommend to put down dust sheets, which is just like some just to protect your carpet and everything, but I'm having my carpet changed, so free reign for me, woohoo. Yeah, so just keep mixing. As you can see, the water's like sitting on top, but as you continuously stir, it's just going to keep, oh dear, that was not meant to happen. As you continuously stir, it's going to end up going into the paint. This is literally what I'm going to do around the whole room. It is just called cutting in, so you can get the room ready for the paint. If you're using colour in your room, so if you're keeping the ceilings white and then using colour, then you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. By careful I mean you're going to have to do something called cutting in, which is just where you're just going to like create sharp lines, so that when you go all the way around the room, you don't want to hit the ceiling, because then otherwise it's just going to look shocking. But all I'm literally going to do, so say for instance all the way along skirting boards, I'm just going to paint all the way along, trying my best not to really hit the skirting boards too much, and doing that there, doing it up the wall, then this side of the wall, scaling across the top, so going this way and then going above the ceiling. I think this part of the video is just made for people who maybe haven't really done their rooms before and think they can't do things which you can. So I have just got some Devil one-time filler. You can use any filler. All this is like a wall filler. So essentially I have just taken my TV off the wall and I'm planning to move it, and I've got these 3 ghastly holes in there. So all you need is just one of these. I'm really not sure what they're called, but you can, you know, you can see what it is. Just scoop a little bit on the corner like so, and then what you're gonna do is just press it into the hole and then scrape over it, but carry on like pushing it flat. Don't do this. And then do the same again. Basically what that will do is that's going to now dry, and then once it's dry, just get the sanding paper, go over it lightly just to get rid of all these, because these are all going to be ridges, and then when you paint over it, there you go, no more holes in the wall. So usually I would use a rod to do the rollering, but instead I've decided to hand roller my room just because it makes it a bit easier to get around. So I decided to do 2 coats all around my room of the cutting in, if you can see just at the top there, and now I'm finally rollering, so let's get some paint on. Next day update. Hello. So I'm feeling very happy, because if you saw from the previous video, you could still see the breeze blocks, and I feel like so far, considering this is only 2 coats, it's covering quite well. It will come back through again, because that's just what happens in time with dust and everything, but you know, we pull through. So my room's now looking white. There's no more pink and blue, thank goodness. From a distance, this obviously looks, you know, it looks a lot better than just the big black crack that was in the wall. However, you know, you can still see a lot of texture, and that's what I'm hoping when I sand today, it will cover. If you have like, let's say 2-3 layers of that one time, you're gonna have like a slight ridge, but at least it's gonna be like clean, if that makes sense. Now let's look onto the ceiling. So a lot of people will paint their rooms and not do the ceiling because it's a little bit more of an effort. However, can you see this really needs doing, because I've cut into all the walls and you'll just be able to see it and it just does not look good. So we're going to do that today. You can pick one of these up from like a DIY store or something like that. It's not going to be that expensive, maybe less than £20. This is just a stick which is going to have my roller on the end of it, so that when I roller the walls, ceiling, sorry, it's just a lot easier. Usually I would use this to roller with the walls, but that's if I didn't have the bed in the way, because yeah, it's just a lot easier, I find anyway. Just another thing I wanted to show you, if you've got some holes in the wall like I do here, these are called plugs, which are basically just these plastic things that sit in the wall so that when you put a nail into it, it just makes it easier to stay in the wall. If you want those removed, then all you need is a drill. Here's the drill that I have, and this is just called a drill bed, which just looks like so. This is just for anybody who wants to do their stuff themselves, to be honest, because you can do this yourself. And if you want them removed, it's literally as simple as give it a little wiggle, and then you should be able to just pull it out, and then ta-da! And then you're just going to want to put some filler in there, let it dry, and same as before. So I also have a cool little addition, which is some paint glitter. This is just a Valspar one. Personally, I think any paint glitter will do. Like, you don't need to spend that much money. And this is just what it looks like, and you'll add this to the paint. I just kind of want to show you, in my mum's room, you can kind of see the twinkling everywhere. Oh, there you go, yeah. See, there is a lot of this in here. So if you don't want this effect, do not add the whole packet. I'm literally going to add as much as left in here, just because I want a slight twinkle when you're making me laugh, just so I want a slight twinkle when the sun hits my room. It just adds a little bit of something, doesn't it, when you can't, like when you don't want to do wallpaper. Just gonna add a tiny bit more just so I can show you, but I don't want to add too much. But yeah, so when you first do it, it does look really overwhelming, and you're kind of like, ew, there's like so many like silver flecks in there. But once you mix it in, all gone, and you can't see them anymore. So if you're just wondering if you can see the silver flecks on the wall, you actually can't. I don't know what it is about this glitter. It's very, very thin. You're not going to see like loads of little silver dots, because I know that I was worried about that to begin with. But yeah, no, it will look really nice, and I'll show you. If you've got spotlights, especially, when they shine down on the wall, you'll see like the glistening. If you've got the sun coming in your room, even if you've just got like a lamp in the corner, you're going to see it. So I think it's just a nice little added extra. It's not like, well, boom, and glitter on the wall. It's more like, oh, there's a little twinkle. Hello, hello. I think we are now on day 3 of the bedroom, and we've made some serious progress. So let's have a look. So I feel quite happy that I've had the final coat of the ceiling, and literally I'm going to say, bravely so, final coat of all the walls. So there's a couple of patches over here that I've like touched up, and like say for instance here I've done a little bit more filler because I wasn't happy with the way it looked under the light. It was a bit lumpy and bumpy. Same over there. Some things need to dry still. If there's like any dark patches, that's why. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with at the moment. It's so nice to see it so clean, and then you look down here and you're like, ew. I also spilled like a ridiculous amount of paint all over the carpet, but you know, the only annoying thing is I have no idea when I'm getting new flooring. So I've also been caulking today. So caulking is just technically like a sealant, and I've gone around all of my windowsill. As you can see, like, can you see like how freshly white it is here? Like, this was all like brown and black before, and I've like followed it all the way up here. It just looks so much cleaner and nicer, so that when I paint this, it's just gonna look really fresh. And then I'm gonna give this a little bit of a big old scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Yeah, that's a progression that I've made today. The funny thing is, with a white room, you can't really see the progress because it's white, so to you it just looks the exact same. But yeah, the caulk is just good for filling cracks. So like, I would use filler for holes and stuff, but then when there's cracks, caulk will just give you a nice seamless line. You look up here on my cupboard, this like big crack here where the joins are, and I'll just use caulk just to go over that. I might even use it along here just to get rid of those cracks. Other than that, give you an update tomorrow when I've got my satin.
Bye.